You're watching Your View.
Thank you for joining us. This is Scott Kaplan and Crew Tonight. The very best from today's Scott Kaplan and Crew show on the mightier 1090 AM SoCal Sports Talk. Here's Scott Kaplan, Alex Padilla, and John Browner.
Great friends, it is a Thursday afternoon here on Kaplan and Crew along with Grande and the Brown Man. We come to you from the 7 Mile Casino Studios, 7milecasino.com. Okay, we got a great show coming up for you today. Let me tell you what's going to happen on today's show. Harrison Faigen is the managing editor of silverscreenandroll.com. He's going to talk to us about the Lakers and this 2-3 start and what we were just talking about, which was why does America root against the Lakers, particularly here in the early part of the season? We'll get to that story coming up. And our longtime intern from Syracuse University, Cameron Azier, is here today, and he'll have his college football report, which will include a monster game this weekend for San Diego State. San Diego State versus Fresno State this weekend. What a game. I was talking about it last night with a buddy of mine as we were heading down to this concert, and I was explaining to him that we're all kind of waiting for that San Diego State collapse, that one game where they've gotten through the first 6 or 7 and they're unbeaten, and you're kind of hoping for the perfect season and to make some noise nationally, especially the year before they move into their new stadium. But we're all sort of waiting. When's it going to happen? And I can remember a few years ago, Alex, what year do you think it was when San Diego State had a real team? Like, we thought they were the kind of team that could be a disruptor, and they wound up losing, I want to say, like back-to-back home games back at the old Qualcomm Stadium to Fresno State and Boise State. Do you remember that year?
Oh, was that the Rashad Penny year?
It could have been. I just remember.
I have to look it up.
I remember me and Billy Ray and Coach Steve Fisher. Steve Fisher. I remember all of us being in the parking lot at Qualcomm Stadium, tailgating and partying, because everybody was there because it was a big game.
2017.
Okay.
The Aztecs were 6-0.
Yeah.
And then they had back-to-back games at home to Boise and Fresno and lost both of them.
Okay.
And it was the Rashad Penny year.
Okay. So you see, this is what my memory is like 95% of the way there. There were back-to-back losses inside the conference. And that was the year because of Penny and, the 2,000-yard rushing season. And previous to that, Donnell Pumphrey had really helped put San Diego State more on the map nationally. I think even the year before, 16, that might have been the year that they beat Houston in the Las Vegas Bowl. So there was a lot of excitement. There was a lot of excitement about Aztec football at that time. And I remember, wow, they're playing Boise State. They're undefeated. Now we're starting to generate some electricity in town. Let's get out to the game. And they wound up losing that game to Boise. Then they lost to Fresno, and the whole season went down the drain.
The only 2 games that season that Penny did not break 100 yards was those 2 games.
How about that?
And that's genuinely my biggest concern is this weekend. Like, what if San Diego State cannot run the ball against Fresno State?
Well, we know they can't throw the ball. Yeah.
You know?
So we're all kind of waiting. San Diego State 7-0, Fresno State 6-2. And I was explaining it to a buddy of mine last night that San Diego State has wins against teams from the Pac-12. So who did they beat? They beat Arizona,
Utah,
and Utah. So 2 really great wins for San Diego State. From Fresno State, they beat UCLA after UCLA had beat LSU, but then Fresno State lost to Hawaii, and UCLA had crushed Hawaii. What I'm getting at is that this game, even though Fresno State has kind of a bad loss on their record, and they've lost 2 games. Do you know who their second loss was to?
It just happened. I think, Hawaii.
Yeah, but prior to that, who else did Fresno State lose to? Do you know?
Oregon.
Okay, so Oregon you can live with. Fresno State
barely too.
Right, losing to Hawaii, that's a really bad loss. But at least San Diego State has Fresno State on the schedule, which Fresno State has a quality win over UCLA and had just barely lost to Oregon. So if you beat Fresno State, it's not going to elevate you significantly in the standings or in the coaches poll, but at least it's a quality win. But it'd be a devastating loss. So San Diego State is on my mind. Cameron will be here later on with our college football report. So Harrison will be here with a Laker report. Cameron will be here with a college football report, and we got a great show coming your way.
I think there's a big SEC game this weekend too. I think it's Georgia, Florida. You got Michigan, Michigan State. There was another matchup that I wanted to. Ole Miss, Auburn. There's like big SEC games, but the big one is Michigan, Michigan State.
That is a huge game. And Michigan, I want to say, is like number 7 in the country. And Michigan State's like 8 or 9.
6 versus 8. Michigan 6 and 8, yeah.
6 versus 8. All right. So you see, we're close, man. We're close.
Ohio
You
State,
guys
Penn
are hearing.
State.
Yeah, you're forgetting Pitt, Miami.
I don't think we're forgetting that.
I think Miami's awful. You got to win that game, dude.
Yeah,
Gotta
you
win
better
it.
win that. You
Gotta
better
win
win
it.
that
Miami's
game,
awful,
bruh.
dude. They're like Miami is my biggest, like, remember I want to get rid of preseason polls? Miami is every year ranked
Yeah.
top 25 and they never finish top 25.
I
They're
know.
3-4, man. You better win that game. San Diego
I
State
know.
would beat Miami right
They're
now.
Yeah,
bad.
you got to win that game. You got to win that game. But that's exactly the point. Just how San Diego State has to beat Fresno State, my guys, Pitt, you got to beat Miami. You know, because these are the kinds of games in a college football season that screw up your whole year.
How much you want to bet this?
Yeah.
I'll bet you anything you want right now. Pitt beats Miami
Mm-hmm.
and San Diego State beats Fresno.
Mm-hmm.
Both, who's a better win? I would say beating Fresno is a better win, right?
I
I
agree.
Yeah.
guarantee you, Pitt still jumps higher in the rankings than San Diego State.
Well, right. I mean, look what Pitt did last week. Pitt beat Clemson. Clemson wasn't ranked,
They
They're
jumped San Diego
terrible.
State.
right? And they jumped over San Diego State. I know. It's an ACC Power 5
Yeah,
thing versus
Miami's
Mountain
awful.
West. Yeah.
Miami's awful. Doesn't matter. You beat them, you're gonna get a higher jump than San Diego State will.
Yeah. Hey, listen, we'll talk college football as the afternoon goes on. Cameron Azir, our intern at Syracuse University, will have his college football report, and we'll get there coming up. I want to turn our attentions, though, directly to the NFL. And I want to say this in advance before I get deeper into this story. This is exactly why I had been saying for years that the city of San Diego should be ashamed of itself for not suing the NFL when the Chargers moved. Now, look, suing the NFL wasn't going to bring the Chargers back, okay? And it wasn't even going to bring the NFL back. But suing the NFL on behalf of the city of San Diego, the intent would be at least collect something for the damages that have been done. And nobody in the city of San Diego had, I'm gonna use past tense, had the guts, the courage, the balls,
Whoa.
the
No.
El Cajones.
Wow.
Nope.
Nobody in this city had the courage to sue the NFL.
You are wrong there.
Am I?
Yes.
Oh.
There was one man that wanted to sue the NFL in San Diego.
Wanted to.
Boltman.
Right. That's right. Boltman. Boltman would call the radio show all the time.
Leave us alone about it.
And was like, dude, I got this attorney. He's an antitrust attorney in New York. He's been successful in suing the NFL in the past. And the city of San Diego needs to sue the NFL. And I agree. The city of San Diego should be following the city of St. Louis, and they should be suing the NFL. But nobody here had the guts to do it. And the fact of the matter is, they should have sued the NFL not to get the NFL back, not to bring the Chargers home. Forget about all that. Okay, those ships have sailed. They should have sued the NFL just to try and find a way to get some money out of their ass to make it just slightly painful for the NFL to have moved out of San Diego the way they did St. Louis. People in St. Louis had the guts to go after the NFL, and now it's getting ugly.
Well, Scott,
Yeah.
you're much more in tune with maybe with law than I am.
I'm not.
If St. Louis is successful, which they so far have been, they've won every motion, they've won every whatever. Does that set precedent to then for San Diego to possibly then jump in, or is it too late?
I don't think it's too late, but I would say to Mayor Todd Gloria, hey, Mr. Mayor, you used to rock those Charger socks and show up at our events and pull up your pants and go, check me out, I'm Mr. Charger fan. Well, you know what? Be Mr. San Diego fan and go after the NFL, and don't let them just walk away for free. Make them pay for what the city of San Diego has lost.
How
And I'll
much
get
is-
deeper into this.
Okay.
Well,
no,
just
'cause
give
my-
me- Go ahead, Browner.
No, my question is, how much are they suing for? What is St. Louis trying to recoup out of this? Because that would
They're trying to
determine whether
say-
or not we go through the time of actually doing it.
There was conflicting reports in the article yesterday that ESPN wrote. Some think it's in the billions, and many say it's in the hundreds of millions.
Well, listen, I don't care if it's 10 million, 100 million, a billion, or 5 billion. Anything is better than zero. Make it hurt for them. Make them spend money on lawyers. Make them acknowledge that what they did was wrong financially. You know, they wronged the community of San Diego, so make them pay for it. And let me there's more details, and I want to get to it here in just 1 second. But I do want to interrupt for 1 second and say this. Hey, guys, I want to talk about iThrive MD for 1 second, and I want to tell you guys that at 7:30 a.m. this morning, I was on a call with Dr. Samir Damani from iThrive MD. And he said, hey, things are really going well. In offering this 50% off discount on testosterone treatments, the phones have really begun to ring quite a bit. And we're making a lot of appointments, and we're bringing in a lot of guys that are great friends. So I want to say thank you, first of all, because this is a great sponsor of ours, and we want them to stay with us for a really long time. So that's our selfish motivation. From your perspective, I want you to be strong, healthy, and live a long life. And iThrive MD can certainly help with your longevity and your wellness. So I want it to work for both parties, all three parties, us, you, them. So Dr. Damani was like, listen, I don't know how long we can keep this 50% thing going, though. He goes, because it's a big deal. I said, but Doc, look, we told people in the second to third week of October, they can get 50% off testosterone treatments for the first 3 months. $289 a month is what it normally costs for testosterone treatments. They've taken it down to $145. But we told you had to make an appointment in the month of October. I said, doctor, why don't we try and extend it through Thanksgiving? Because everybody's life is going to change. You're going to get in November. First we're going to have Halloween this weekend. Then it's going to be Thanksgiving next month. Then it's going to be time off of work. And then it's going to be Christmas, holidays, New Year's. And then, you're into 2022. So I said, Doc, why don't we extend this through Thanksgiving? And I've got the doc's word that if you make an appointment at iThrive MD now through Thanksgiving, he will honor the 50% savings for testosterone treatments. So here's what you do. Make an appointment. Go to ithrivemd.com/Kaplan. Easier is call this phone number, 858-240-1497, 858-240-1497. Make an appointment now between now and Thanksgiving. The first 3 months of treatment are going to be 50% savings. So you're going to get your testosterone levels checked for free. If your testosterone is low because you're feeling depressed or foggy or weak or you can't get the job done in the bedroom, fellas, let's get your testosterone levels checked. If you need a treatment of testosterone, 50% savings. This has been the call to action that has gotten a lot of guys to go, I've heard Kaplan talk about this for a couple of years, and I've thought about it, but I didn't know what the pricing was. Now I'm finally ready and motivated because the price is so inexpensive. ithrivemd.com/Kaplan, 858-240-1497, 858-240-1497. Guys, make that appointment. Get in and see the docs at iThrive MD, and let's make sure you're healthy and strong and feeling good going into 2022 at iThrive MD. All right, let's get back to this story. This story blew up yesterday. Here's an encapsulation for those of you that weren't following.
Good word.
Thank you very much. I tried. Wasn't really sure if I was going to be able to get it out. And I wasn't even really sure if it was the right word. You know what I mean?
Say it again?
Encapsulation.
It's really good, man.
Is it a real word? I'm not even really 100% positive.
No, but it sounded good. I'm convinced.
I know. It sounds good, right? Here's how the story goes for those of you that haven't been paying attention. Here's how it goes. The NFL owners are all meeting, right? And Stan Kroenke from the Rams lets all the owners know, hey, guys, listen. The city of St. Louis is suing the NFL. Not me, Stan Kroenke. Us, the NFL. Stan Kroenke has indemnified the other 31 owners.
We on fire, player.
It's another nice word, right, Brownie?
Yeah.
Another word I'm not
You're
sure.
even using them right, but damn.
You're going for ISO right now, boy. It's isolation offense. You full James Harden right now. Step back. Between the legs.
Yeah. I don't even know what these words mean, but I'm using them, brother.
Keep them going. You on fire.
Yeah, right. So Kroenke tells now this is going back years ago. When the city of St. Louis sues us, I will indemnify the league. What does that mean? Essentially what it means is Kroenke is going to pay the legal bills. Okay. Now, the story goes that the legal bills are costing the league, therefore Kroenke, billions of dollars. Not hundreds of millions. The number yesterday that was reported was legal fees in the billions. Now, he spent $6 billion on a stadium. I don't know how the legal fees have gotten up to upwards of $1 billion, but that sounds like a lot of money to me for legal fees.
That sounds like BS.
That sounds like a misprint.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sounds like he's got like divorce attorneys working on his case,
24 hours a day.
They take all.
What is a divorce?
True.
True, it is. So here's essentially the story, though. whatever the numbers are, Kroenke is paying the legal fees. Jerry Jones isn't. Bob Kraft isn't. The Mara family, the Rooney family, the Spanos family, Mark Davis, none of them. They're not paying the legal fees. It's Kroenke who's paying the legal fees. But here's the deal. Kroenke is now telling the other NFL owners, this is a bunch of nonsense. The city of St. Louis is suing us. I'm paying all the legal fees. And the way the story is being reported, and this is interesting, is that there's a feeling that somebody, and they didn't put a name with it, but I think we could all figure out who they're talking about. It's either Spanos or Davis or both. Somebody provided the city of St. Louis, this is many years ago, with information that said that the Rams organization was violating the relocation rules. So remember, the Chargers and the Raiders were trying to get a stadium built together, and the competing project was the Rams, which obviously has come to fruition. Now, when Kroenke told the other owners, if I get LA, I will indemnify the league so that when the lawsuits happen, I'll pay the legal fees. And the other NFL owners went, okay, all right, give it to Kroenke. Now that Kroenke is coming back to the owners and he's going, hey, this is a bunch of nonsense. One of these two guys, again, the accusation is either Spanos or Davis or both. One of them provided St. Louis with information that we violated some rules of relocation. That's the crux of their lawsuit. Okay. And I don't think I should have to pay these legal fees for everybody anymore. And the owners, the NFL owners, here's their response. We would never have given Kroenke LA if he did not indemnify us. If Kroenke would have said, I'm not paying for the lawsuits, we're all in this together, then the NFL owners would have said, no, you're not getting LA, which means they might have given the Chargers and the Raiders LA. If I had to guess, I'll just put it out there. If I had to guess, who would have been the responsible party for feeding St. Louis information that they needed to have this lawsuit? One man comes to mind. One man. The master of disaster himself, Mark Fabiani. You talk about one guy who would play dirty and who would know the legalities of the situation and would try and undermine the Rams' move into LA. I could see, I'm theorizing here, I could see Chargers lawyer Mark Fabiani feeding the city of St. Louis, here's all the rules that the Rams are breaking, here's the lawsuit you're going to have against them. Kroenke walks in and tells all the owners, I'll pay all the lawsuits, I'll pay for all the legal fees. All the owners are like, great, you go do it. We'll give you LA. And they gave him LA, and now Kroenke wants to change it on him. And there seems to be a lot of anger amongst the owners. So I don't know how this is going to go down, but this is big and dirty business.
You know how it's going to go down? However Jerry Jones wants it to go down. And right now he's defending Stan Kroenke. You know, you're going to let Stan Kroenke be cheap about it, then he's going to win. Because everybody from the report, Robert Kraft, the Mara family, the Chiefs families, the Hunts, everybody's like, we're not paying for this. We're not paying for this. And Jerry Jones is like, wait a minute now. You know, let's not forget who Stan Kroenke is. He's been great to us. You know, his family's got a lot of money. So if Jerry Jones says we're paying, then they're paying.
I think we may now have a lead in who released these John Gruden emails. We may have a tree to bark up, because if we're talking retaliation and they don't know who did it, but you do have some suspects. I mean, who had access to those emails? I mean, I feel like this story is about to start going in full circle here.
That's a great connection, by the way.
I mean, think about it.
I'm having a hard time putting two and two together here. What do you mean, Browner?
So if you're saying by the account of what you're saying, Stan Kroenke was basically set up in the lawsuit by either the Chargers ownership or the Raiders ownership, correct?
Possible. That's certainly the accusation, I think. I'm reading between the lines.
Right. So if Kroenke believes it was the Raiders and someone from Mark Davis's camp who did this, once Stan Kroenke's people got wave of these emails, he went, "Oh, time for a little payback. Hey, that coach you got? Listen to these emails, New York Times. Is that far-fetched?"
Not for me.
I think so.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay. I don't.
Scott's already zeroed in on Mark Fabiani. That's why. You know what I mean? Like
I think also, I just don't know that every NFL club had access to these emails. I don't know.
Oh, every NFL club.
Oh, what?
Come on.
They're all in it. They're all in the emails.
Yeah. This wasn't emails between John Gruden and Bruce Allen. This is 650,000 emails of everybody that anybody ever associated to Bruce
maybe
Allen.
you're right. Maybe you're right, brother. Maybe
this
it was the Raiders.
guy Pash, that was like the intermediary for the NFL.
Yeah, the NFL's
he's
attorney.
like implicated in those emails too.
Yeah. Maybe. Maybe you're onto something here, Browner. Maybe it was the Raiders, and maybe Kroenke was like, "This is going to be my way to get back to him." But if it was the Chargers, maybe this would give Kroenke an opportunity.
For the show if it was the Chargers.
Say again.
It's better for the show if it was the Chargers.
Yeah, it'd be much better for the show. I would love that.
Actually, Kroenke throwing Mark Davis under the bus sounds great too.
Listen, rich guys fighting about money and lawsuits, it's all good and sexy. We'll have more on it as the story develops because it's something we're definitely going to keep our eyes on. Lots more to come. We're in the 7 Mile Casino Studios here on Kaplan and Crew.
We'll be right back with more of Scott Kaplan and Crew tonight. The very best from today's Scott Kaplan and Crew show on the mightier 1090 AM. A new generation of radio. SoCal Sports Talk.
You're watching Kaplan and Crew tonight, powered by the mightier 1090 and Your View, featuring the best sports talk in SoCal. Brought to you by Team Mazda of El Cajon, where your trade-in is always worth more.
And they're on. Welcome back. Please join us in welcoming the Race and Sports Radio Show back home to 1090. Join host Felix Taverna every Saturday at 9 a.m. for the very best horse racing coverage in all of Southern California. The all-new and mightier 1090.
SDCCU is an engaged community partner. Each year, SDCCU is proud to support many nonprofit organizations throughout Southern California. Our partnerships allow us to help shape the financial lives of many through volunteerism, financial support, and creating public awareness. The result is a big impact on the communities we serve. SDCCU, it's not big bank banking, it's better. Federally insured by NCUA. Find out more at sdccu.com.
Great things can be achieved when a community comes together. Join Erica Cardenas on Doing More as she introduces you to ordinary people working side by side to confront tremendous challenges and make a positive impact in their community. Watch Doing More Sunday night at 6 on Your View or stream it online at yourview.com. Are you or someone you love living with dementia? Get free support from the experts at Alzheimer's San Diego. Visit alzsd.org or call 858-492-4400. Brought to you by Team Mazda of El Cajon, where your trade-in is always worth more. Just off I-8 in El Cajon.
Up to 30% of COVID-19 patients become long haulers with persistent symptoms months after the infection.
What I've been finding with my patients is that it's taking up to 3 to 6 months for them to recover their endurance, exercise capacity, and get them back to work or to their usual activities of daily living.
What I wasn't able to do was the basic needs, like brush your teeth, take a shower because of the shortness of breath, the tightness in my chest.
The symptoms that concern me the most, the shortness of breath. So restrictive. You know, you go through and you just take for granted that, you know, you're gonna breathe. And when that gets taken away, it's a scary thought. Unfortunately, I'm 6 months out now from my diagnosis and I'm still suffering from several of the symptoms.
My experience with the patients I've sent to La Mesa Rehab has been extremely positive. The patients come back with good reports, and when I see them in the office, their exercise capacity has improved dramatically.
I'm getting there because of La Mesa Rehab.
Teatro means theater in Spanish, and in Portuguese, and in Tagalog, and in Italian, and in so many languages. We have a lot of communities, a lot of culture here, so that is the reason why teatro is in the name. The mission of Teatro San Diego is to provide arts education to underserved communities, specifically in schools. Our goal is also in tandem with arts education to provide a professional theater company and dance company so that the community can see themselves reflected on stage at the professional level. Places like Subaru have really been so supportive and have helped us come up with projects like the AMI project.
I was so honored to be at an event a few days ago and heard some of the songs from it. These guys rock. This is just an amazing thing that everyone needs to see.
Southern California Radio is a special game, a unique game from the sandy beaches of the Baja and all the way to Santa Barbara. My voice sounds pretty cool. The all-new and mightier 1090.
My name is John Alicio, and I'm managing partner of Procopio. Procopio is the largest San Diego-based law firm, and we're proud to be a part of this event, the Salute to Teachers. Without the teachers, none of us would have had the success we've had. You know, our firm consists of about 200 professionals and 200 attorneys, so a total of 400 mostly San Diego educated professionals. Without you, we'd not be winning the cases we win as we go toe-to-toe with the best attorneys in the world. So thank you on behalf of Procopio for what you do and how you do it. And a special personal thanks to my alma mater, Valhalla High School, and the teachers at that school. Without you, I would not have had the personal success I have had. So from Procopio, thank you for what you do and how you do it. Salute.
It was a night to remember as we honored the best teachers in San Diego. There was dancing. There was music. There were teachers. There was also this bit of genius.
This honor is bananas. B-A-N-A-N-A-S.
Watch Cox present Salute to Teachers only on Your View.
Here's Kaplan and Crew tonight's 60-second timeout with Haley Stasiak.
University of San Diego football started the year with a 4-game losing streak, but since then have now won 4 straight. USD beat Presbyterian 69-28 last Saturday. The 69 points tie the most the Toreros have scored in a single game. Quarterback Mason Randall had 4 total touchdowns, earning him Pioneer League Offensive Player of the Week honors. Defensively, linebacker David Ambagstier earned Special Teams Player of the Week for picking up a blocked punt and returning it 4 yards for a touchdown. The Toreros are now just 1 game out of first place in the Pioneer Football League. The win also made head coach Dale Lindsay the winningest head coach in USD history with 72 wins. Next up for USD, the Toreros will take on Valparaiso on Saturday. That's your 60-second timeout. Now back to more Kaplan and Crew Tonight.
Kaplan and Crew tonight's 60-second timeout is presented by Your View.
Still on his feet, Jared Williams-Swift is in the end zone. Touchdown, Wildcats.
He's at the 40. Is he going to go?
Goes, holds it in. What a catch.
And return left sideline. Off to the races.
He flipped the defenders into the end zone. He's got a man. Pass out. Wildcats. That was pretty.
Catch all the action as Helix takes on Granite Hills October 29th at 7 p.m. Brought to you by Team Mazda of El Cajon, where your trade-in is always worth more.
There's a difference between just getting there and enjoying the journey. At Team Mazda of El Cajon, we put you in the driver's seat of the best cars around. From our stylish crossover SUVs to our classic sedans and sports cars. At Team Mazda of El Cajon, your good credit and trade-in can turn into the Mazda of your dreams. Start enjoying your drive with the new Mazda today. Visit Team Mazda of El Cajon.
We'll be right back with more of Scott Kaplan and Crew Tonight. The very best from today's Scott Kaplan and Crew show on the mightier 1090 AM. A new generation of radio. SoCal Sports Talk.
You're watching Kaplan and Crew Tonight, powered by the mightier 1090 and Your View. Brought to you by Team Mazda of El Cajon, where your trade-in is always worth more. Just off I-8 in El Cajon.
Great friends, we welcome you back to the 7 Mile Casino Studios here of Kaplan and Crew, along with Grande and the Brown Man. And I want to say to everybody listening on the radio airwaves of 1090, 50,000 watts blasting from San Diego, north to Orange County, through LA, well into Ventura County and Santa Barbara. For all of our radio listeners, happy to have you guys along today. To the heart and soul of our show and what we do, I want to say to all the YouTubers out there, happy to have you guys here. Make sure you're involved in our YouTube chat. Thumbs up, comment down below, get involved in our whole YouTube channel. And for anybody that's going to catch up to us tonight on television, Channel 4 San Diego is our home base. We're part of the Cox YourView network. Channel 4 San Diego, Channel 118 in Orange County, 118 in Palos Verdes, and then back to Channel 4 if you happen to be in Santa Barbara. And for those of you that are in Santa Barbara that watch us on TV, hit us up on Twitter at Kaplan and Crew. Come visit our website, kaplanandcrew.com. I love hearing from everybody up in Santa Barbara. So, Grande, Brown Man, Harrison Faigen is about to join us. He's the managing editor of silverscreenandroll.com. This is the SB Nation website that Alex does his Tuesday Laker podcast on, Taco Tuesday. And I can't wait to hear what Harrison has to say about what the Lakers did or didn't do last night. I don't know if we're going to focus in on the Lakers losing after having a 26-point lead against Oklahoma City, who got their first win, or if we're all going to just focus in on Russell Westbrook and his antics at the end of the game. Alex, opening thought before we get to Harrison so that he hears where we're all coming from. What do you say about last night?
I am completely unpanicked. I am more disappointed in Russell Westbrook's belief on the state of basketball. I think I was disappointed that he is that guy, the unwritten rule guy, which I despise in baseball. I did not know Russell Westbrook was that guy. Apologize for not doing my research.
Browner, opening thought so that Harrison Faigen understands where we're coming from.
Man, listen, it's time for y'all to pick a lane. Either you with LeBron or you with Westbrook. I'm saying it right now. Okay, you get these 30-point triple doubles from Westbrook when LeBron out. LeBron show up, he got 8 turnovers, 9 points, 1 for 7 from 3. It's just a chemistry dead. Now all of a sudden LeBron gone. Look how hard he playing. Look at the numbers. Look at the numbers go up, huh? Y'all see that? Y'all see that, LA?
Yeah, but what about last night? What did you think about last night, though, dog?
Well, listen, that's Russ, dog. That's Russ. This is what you get, the good and the bad, man. This is Russell Westbrook. I've watched his whole career. I love Russell Westbrook. I love everything he does from a basketball standpoint. I love it. But this is who he is. You're going to get this. You're going to get this wild, hey, man, I can triple-double chase with 2 seconds left on the clock. You better not take a shot with 2 seconds left on the clock. You're going to get this guy. This is the ride, the ups and the downs.
All right, well, here he is, the managing editor from silverscreenandroll.com, Harrison Faigen, making his first appearance of this NBA season here on the Kaplan and Crew show. Harrison, good afternoon. How you doing, man?
I'm doing good. I'm honored to be back. I'm glad that I was not just like a pandemic fill-in for like somebody like more qualified who was just busy last year, you know, with everything going on. So I'm glad to be back. Second NBA season with you guys. Yeah, I mean, honestly, the unwritten rules thing was hilarious. Not just for the reasons that Alex mentioned, but also because, you know, I saw Sam Esfandiari, like Warriors fan, he covers the Warriors. He was tweeting a clip this morning of Russ doing exactly the same thing at the end of a close game against the Kings. After getting a steal, he ran down and laid the ball in. So like, it just makes the comments last night of him like, oh, I don't play that. I don't deal with that kind of like, you know, stuff at the end of the game, showing us up. But it's like, okay, but I guess it's all right when you do it. I mean, it's a slightly different situation.
Yeah,
but
I mean,
I've always felt like that stuff is corny, you know, like if you want to stop, if you don't want them to do that, then like stop them from scoring, you know, it's like, if they're going to go for it, then it is what it is. I mean, it's also fine to dribble out the clock, but yeah, I mean, I don't have a problem.
Don't you guys? I think we all agree here, though, that Russell Westbrook is a personality type to like when he's losing. As a kid, if he was losing and it was his ball they were using, he would take it and go home.
Oh, yeah. Absolutely.
Like, Russell Westbrook, to me, has always been like one of the biggest sore losers in all of basketball. So it kind of like when you do it, when you think of it that way, it kind of makes sense. Like, it's cool if I do it, but don't do it to me. Don't hurt my feelings.
Yeah, you know, I mean, yeah, that would not surprise. I could see a little Westbrook like walking home with this ball or something, or changing the rule, being one of those like change the rule. I mean, maybe that's why him and Chris Paul have always feuded throughout their careers. They got like a little more of each other in them than maybe either of them would like to admit.
Harrison, what was the when you just mentioned the clip that one of the gentlemen tweeted of Russell Westbrook doing essentially the same thing? You're in the final seconds of a game. The game is now considered out of reach. You steal an inbound ball and you take it home for a dunk. When was that? I'm just curious when he did that most recently. I believe
he was on the Rockets in the clip. So like about 2 years ago, 2 seasons ago.
Yeah. I feel like, and tell me what you think about this, but I feel like the Lakers, and it's the players, it's the organization, it's certainly the fan base. There's this entitled attitude of, we rebuilt our roster, we brought in superstars, this is our championship to win. And when a young team like Oklahoma City makes this massive comeback down 26 points, wins the game, and intercepts the inbound ball, and rather than respecting you and running out the clock, they go for the dunk. I feel like if I were in those young guys' shoes, I'd want to disrespect you guys too. You know what I'm saying?
You know, the Lakers disrespected them first. I mean, they were really good in the first quarter. I think they built like almost a 20-point lead by the end of the first, like when they were actually trying during that game. And I think they got outscored by like 30 the rest of the way through the next 3 quarters. You know, it's just the Lakers stopped playing. That's more disrespectful to me than, you know, anything that happened in the final seconds from Darius Bazley when a young guy, you know, like just is going and trying to score and put the, you know, exclamation point on a win. Like, you know, you should have stopped them over the last hour or so. You should have at some point mustered up that effort and that enthusiasm and that anger. And it's just like, you know, the Thunder also gave them 3 chances to win in the final seconds. It's like, if they're going to go down and like to kind of celebrate their first win of the season and they're excited about it, you know, I don't really have any problem with that because the Lakers completely took their foot off the gas. That's more disrespectful than anything the Thunder did.
I thought another part of that game, the guy who dunked had a career night against the Lakers. Like this, regardless of what you think of the roster, the brand is still the same. It's still the Lakers. And this kid had a career night. Josh Giddey also had a great game as well. Shea had a good game. So this is a celebratory moment. That dead crowd finally had some life in it, and he wanted to finish with a bang. I get that. I 100% get that. To have Russ then make it into a scene, just it was just like, you, bro, you, dog, you. Come on, man.
They ruined his homecoming, man.
I mean, I don't blame him for being mad about the way that the night went, and I think that maybe some of that is kind of what boiled over. Is he was upset with kind of, yeah, you know, like you just said, like ruining his home cut, like his home. That was not how he saw his return to Oklahoma City going with this team on a night that, you know, he's the number 1 option. LeBron's out with injury. Like, okay, I got this, guys. I'm going to take us home, and you know, had again like a really good first quarter and mostly decent first half. But it's just they all completely stopped playing in the second half, especially. Like it was the last couple minutes of the second quarter, and then for almost the entire second half before they had their late rally to kind of bring it back a little closer and they re-engage. But you can't do that when LeBron's not playing. You can't, like, this team is not good enough yet. They're not established enough yet. The chemistry is not there. The offense has not been good enough that you can just stop playing for an entire half of basketball 5 games into the season.
All right, we're talking to Harrison Faigen. He's the managing editor of SilverScreenandRoll.com. And hopefully I'm using the right title. Am I using the right title? Managing editor?
Managing editor, editor-in-chief, senior producer. I have a lot of time. I'm a man of many titles. Managing editor is fine. I am in charge.
I'm the boss with the hot sauce.
Yeah, exactly. Like I'm the boss over there. That's good enough.
Right. Yeah. So Harrison, who do we blame? And I know it's only 5 games into the season, but forget about 2 and 3. 2 and 3, whatever. But to be up 26 points, to take your foot off the gas like you've documented, should we be blaming Frank Vogel? Should we be looking at their veteran players? This is why they got Carmelo and Rondo and Dwight and Russ. I mean, that was the whole sell job. Was we went out and got veteran players so that if LeBron's not available, we've got other experienced guys. What I'm getting at is, who should we be looking at? Because after the game, Frank Vogel was like, well, you know, we'll just learn from this and we'll move on, you know. And Anthony Davis was like, learn? He's like, this is embarrassing.
AD is always slightly more unfiltered than Frank Vogel, I will say.
Oh, did you see the way he looked at Russ when Russ was saying the whole unwritten rules thing? Like, he was like, what are you talking about, man?
Yeah, AD keeps it real. It's something that I've always appreciated about him. Like, I don't always agree on his takeaways from some games and whatever, but he always puts the onus on himself and always kind of really seems to let you know what he's actually thinking. He's actually often a more reliable kind of orator of like the injury report and things going on in the locker room than like anyone else, because he does not speak in coach speak so much. And, as far as blame for last night's game, I mean, to some degree it's injuries, right? Like LeBron was out, they're missing, Taylor Horton-Tucker, they're missing Kendrick Nunn. Those are their fourth and fifth highest paid guys. Whatever you think of this roster, and no matter how good you think those guys are, like that was part of the depth equation that this team thought they were going to have. Like they should not, how much they should have been relying on 36-year-old Trevor Ariza, who has not finished a season in like 3 years. That is a little bit less kind of forgivable to me. But, if you had two young, they weren't expecting their two kind of young investments to get hurt right at the start of the year and not be able to play. So that's part of it. But that said, this was literally like a historic loss. I think ESPN had the stat that the Lakers were like 400 something and 0 or something like that when leading by 25 at any point in the game. Like this was their first loss under these circumstances ever, which is insane to me that they've never blown that big of a lead, because I feel like they definitely did during the lottery years. I feel like I watched games like that. And so like that kind of broke my brain a little bit, considering that this was the first team to blow a game like that, because like you said, this is a team where they have veterans, they trumpeted their depth, and they're dealing with some serious injuries right now to their team, and they're down to like basically 10 healthy NBA players, but these guys still should have been good enough to get it done. And they're veterans who should know kind of that you can't just completely, like a young team, this is more forgivable. If this happens, you're feeling yourself, these losses happen to every single young team during the course of their development cycle. But to talk about like, this is something we need to go through, we're going to learn from this. These guys are all like 35. They should not have to learn this lesson.
I disagree.
No, I agree with totally.
Here's why I think that's going to happen again, and probably again, because they're veterans. They feel like once they get up, they start cruising against a team like that, because there's a lot of teams like that in the league. The game's over. Like the game's over for them, for Melo, for Dwight, for Russ, for AD. Like for older dudes, yeah, we got.
Yeah, they're like, how do these young guys not know that you're supposed to throw in the towel? This is so annoying that they keep playing.
How dare them continue to play? This game's over for us. Let's just get to the end. I think you're gonna see this again.
Sometimes I feel like, Browner, do you like think like sometimes I feel like instead of playing with numbers on their back, they should play with their resumes on their back? Like that's how they act sometimes.
Yes.
Like, look what I've done.
Like when the All-Star patches come out and they've got like 3 championships on there, 8 All-Star like banners or whatever, like they put on the front of the jackets. They should put that on back of the jerseys, because I think that's the way that the Lakers are going to be playing this year. Like, when we come into the building, it's like we won the championship, because look at our roster. Look at these dudes. But what I think they don't understand is a team like Oklahoma City is like, this is a playoff game for us, because look at these dudes. Like you go to Orlando.
They haven't won yet. They're looking for their first win. And they had like, I think, a pretty dispiriting giveaway the night before. And so
against
they were
the Warriors. I watched that game. It was pathetic.
Yeah, and so like, of course they were motivated. They're like, okay, we are not letting that happen again. And then they get crushed to start the game. And, I'm sure that their coach kept telling them, hey, let's make it a game. Let's chip away. And well, that's every coach says that when they're down. I think the Thunder really bought into it, and they kept making like incremental progress. They really wanted that first win. And, they deserve as much credit as like kind of we're giving the Lakers blame, because they didn't take their foot off the gas. They kept playing. They still had to go out there and take advantage of it. But yeah, I mean, that was an inexcusable loss. I don't think it's reason for panic or anything, because there are games like second night of a back-to-back, teams lose those games. Usually it's not that big of a lead. This kind of stuff happens. I just think that like the idea that it's some lesson for the team to learn from or something like that is kind of laughable to me, because like they know better than to just like completely stop playing when they don't have any kind of real momentum established yet. And they have not been playing well enough overall to just kind of have those nights where they're like, okay, I could tell like midway through the second quarter, they had decided they're like, all right, we don't really have to try on defense anymore, because we're scoring every time down. So we can kind of, take a step back here. We're just going to keep scoring and whatever. And it just, it resulted in a pretty embarrassing loss.
All right. So like, obviously yesterday is fun to talk about, and it's present of mind, but big picture, like big, because I think I'm not anywhere near panic, but let's say 10 is you're on the beach and there's a tidal wave coming. And 1, you're drinking margaritas in the pool and you don't give a damn about anything. Like, where are you at right now? Big picture with the Lakers.
I would say like I'm at like a 4 because I think that there are some concerns. This is not nothing where I'm like completely relaxed. This is all going to get worked out. This is all going to be fine when everyone gets healthy. And because number one, we don't know, like last year showed us, we don't know that there's ever going to be a point when everyone is healthy. I think everyone hopes that because I want to see what this team can be at full strength, but we don't know. And so that's number one. And number two, there's been enough stuff with like the starting big, and I know some of like the on-off numbers and stuff don't really reflect this yet, but starting big the way that they have with DeAndre Jordan, who's just not like an NBA player anymore, and hamstringing your spacing when you're not really getting the benefits of this is something that Alex, that you and the other Alex, the host your show with, you talked about the other day. Is like when you're playing big, you have to get the benefits of it, and they're getting out rebounded, they're getting killed in the paint because they don't have the speed to like kind of switch. They don't have guys that are good rotators. And again, like, you know, LeBron playing more of those small ball 4 minutes than Melo down the stretch of some of these games is going to make a difference there. LeBron's a good weak side defender. Things like they're going to get more rotations. This kind of stuff is going to likely improve, but they're shooting themselves in the foot to start games a little bit. And I'm not sure that I've seen kind of the overall like cohesion and some of the strategic things that you'd like to see. Again, this team still has to get healthy, but as far as I don't know that they're leaning into the identity that they need to play yet in terms of embracing being a smaller team. And part of that is having some of these wing size guys out, but they need at least one more kind of, this is something that we wrote about at the site last week, is that they need one more kind of like Markieff Morris style kind of hybrid 4 or 5 type guy like they had last year rather than DJ. I just, you know, or they need a center that can actually play because it's not him. And that's not the only problem. And I don't want to just blame all of their struggles on him. He's playing like 15 minutes a game, but you know, I've seen enough things where it's like self-imposed issues that I do have questions about them figuring it out, but I'm not like panicking yet. Last night doesn't have me panicking.
My biggest concern is if I don't see LeBron playing the bulk of his minutes at the 4, I think they're going to be in trouble. I agree with you in that sense because LeBron is a good help defender playmaker. He's not a good consistent defender anymore. Nor should he be at his age. Like, this isn't football.
Not one-on-one, no.
Right.
Yeah.
He can't do that anymore. But he can make a play late in the game or at every time once a half. He can make a spectacular defensive play from the help side.
He's like one of the best helps, like rotators in the league down to that spot. Like he gets way more blocks than you like remember him doing. Yeah.
And so I hope that Anthony Davis leads this team defensively, whether it be through pick and roll, whether it be protecting the basket. If him and LeBron are protecting the backboard, getting rebounds, and starting the breaks, I think the Lakers are going to be fantastic this season. What I don't want to see is DeAndre Jordan playing at all. 0, none, nada. Give him his check and let him go make movies or whatever it is he wants, write another book, whatever he wants to do. Go do that, dude, because he can't play anymore.
I thought he was supposed to just be a bench player. I didn't think he was going to be a starter when they got him.
I thought that there was a chance because this team has liked their reclamation projects. They like their like pedigree guys that the league gave up on him. We could bring that guy in and look at what he's going to do in this system. But I have not, maybe he gets his legs under him, but I don't think that I see it. And so the other
he's not JaVale McGee.
Yeah,
I think they're looking at him.
He's not. JaVale is a far better player at this point in their careers, and really like 2 years ago was and has been for probably quite some time. The other thing that they're just shooting themselves in the foot on, and injuries have sort of forced their hand with this because of the lack of like wings and things like that, and the lack of THT, the lack of none. But Russ Rondo minutes don't work. God, and especially when you have nights where it's Russ and Rondo and they're out. And again, they have a lot of injuries right now. So this is, they may not play these moments.
Throw Dwight in there too while you're at it.
But when it's Russ and Rondo and Melo, it's like, unless your goal there is to confuse the defense because they can't decide who to target, then like, I just don't know what you're really doing. And, you know, having Monk out there, who's just, you know, he's been fun offensively, but he also is not a very good defender. He's not in the tier of kind of the Rondo Melo, but when you have Rondo and Melo on the court, like you're just not going to get any stops. You're just giving defenses kind of like a buffet of options to pick on. And, you know, it's just, it's just little stuff
Bad.
like that I hope they're going to have to figure that out and figure out that they just can't play Russ and Rondo together, because it's a horrible fit offensively, where you're basically wasting one of them, standing off ball, not having the ball in their hands, and defensively, like, they're just too small. They're they're not attentive enough at this stage of their careers to where you can have both of those guys be your point of attack defenders.
All right, we're talking to Harrison Faigen this afternoon. He's the boss at silverscreenandroll.com.
Official title.
Right, the SB Nation website that covers the Lakers. It's where Alex has his podcast, Taco Tuesday. Hey, Harrison, we got to roll, but I don't know if you know this or not. Congratulations are in order to our man Grande here. He became a homeowner this week. Did you know that?
I did not know that. All right, you guys are paying him well. I
was thinking the opposite. I was thinking you were paying him well.
Yeah, it's the Silver Screen and Roll once a week podcast check. It's like,
yeah.
What are we at for you now? Like $1 million a week? Is that your going rate?
I don't like to put my numbers out there.
Okay, I apologize.
Like an NBA player.
Right.
That feels kind of hypocritical for you to host the sports talk show, be on a sports talk show where you guys talk about guys' salaries all the time, though, and you're like, I don't want
but
mine.
not our own. Right. Yeah. But not our own. Yeah, but it was true. It was amazing. So yeah, congratulations go out to our man here. Hey, Harrison, it's great to talk to you. Great to be with you. Love the website, silverscreenandroll.com. Love everything you guys do there. And listen, we will look forward to talking to you many times throughout this NBA season. Fantastic analysis. Stick around, everybody. Lots more to get to. We're going to get to Thursday Night Football and this week in the NFL. Stick around. This is Kaplan and Crew.
We'll be right back with more of Scott Kaplan and Crew tonight. The very best from today's Scott Kaplan and Crew show on the mightier 1090 AM. A new generation of radio. SoCal Sports Talk.
You're watching Kaplan and Crew tonight, powered by the mightier 1090 and Your View, featuring the best sports talk in SoCal. Brought to you by Team Mazda of El Cajon, where your trade-in is always worth more.
Our massive signal covers an area where over 24 million people reside. So if you're listening or advertising on another station, we have only one question. Why? The new generation of radio, the all-new and mightier 1090.
Great things can be achieved when a community comes together. Join Erica Cardenas on Doing More as she introduces you to ordinary people working side by side to confront tremendous challenges and make a positive impact in their community. Watch Doing More Sunday night at 6 on Your View or stream it online at yourview.com. Sponsored by The Barnes Firm, partnering with Shelter to Soldier and saving lives 2 at a time. Visit thebarnesfirm.com/shelter to soldier and help save more lives.
There's a difference between just getting there and enjoying the journey. At Team Mazda of El Cajon, we put you in the driver's seat of the best cars around. From our stylish crossover SUVs to our classic sedans and sports cars. At Team Mazda of El Cajon, your good credit and trade-in can turn into the Mazda of your dreams. Start enjoying your drive with a new Mazda today. Visit Team Mazda of El Cajon.
It was a night to remember as we honored the best teachers in San Diego. There was dancing. There was music. There were teachers. There was also this bit of genius.
This honor is bananas. B-A-N-A-N-A-S.
Watch Cox presents Salute to Teachers only on Your View.
Here's Kaplan and Crew tonight's 60-second timeout with Haley Stasiak.
University of San Diego football started the year with a 4-game losing streak, but since then have now won 4 straight. USD beat Presbyterian 69-28 last Saturday. The 69 points tie the most the Toreros have scored in a single game. Quarterback Mason Randall had 4 total touchdowns, earning him Pioneer League Offensive Player of the Week honors. Defensively, linebacker David Ambagstier earned Special Teams Player of the Week for picking up a blocked punt and returning it 4 yards for a touchdown. The Toreros are now just 1 game out of first place in the Pioneer Football League. The win also made head coach Dale Lindsey the winningest head coach in USD history with 72 wins. Next up for USD, the Toreros will take on Valparaiso on Saturday. That's your 60-second timeout. Now back to more Kaplan and Crew tonight.
Kaplan and Crew tonight's 60-second timeout is presented by Your View.
Catch an all-new local show on the Mightier 1090. Please join us every Thursday at 6 p.m. for the Charity Stripe, where you can get 3 out-of-the-box sports minds whose game is knowing yours. Only on a new generation of radio, the Mightier 1090 AM, SoCal Sports Talk.
From fitness to medical technology, explore how people are leading healthier lives on Your Health. Join Erica Cardenas as she introduces you to health experts and discover how our daily choices affect our well-being. Plus, learn simple tips for healthier living. Your Health, Sunday at 4:30 p.m. on YourView and YourView.com. Brought to you by La Mesa Rehab, improving the lives of those afflicted by chronic obstructive pulmonary disease. Learn more at LaMesaRehab.com.
Wilsey Asset Management is an investment advisory firm registered with the SEC. We're a firm that's a fiduciary firm, and we manage $500 million in assets for clients and businesses nationwide. We do better when our clients do better. You want to have a win-win situation. And I saw the same thing with charities. Some of the charities that we're involved in would include Cruise for Kids. Another organization that we really helped a lot was Children's Hospital. And there's also other organizations that we help as well in addition to those.
Kind of growing up and seeing how involved my dad was in the community, it really rubbed me, I'm going to say, in the right way. I did kind of take that one step further, I would say, and actually did start my own charity. It's called the Fighters Fight Foundation. What we do is we actually provide experiences to women that are battling stage 3 or stage 4 breast cancer. Our charity is not just about providing the experiences for women, it's also too on educating people. If you want to get involved in the foundation, you can go to our website, fightersfightfoundation.com.
At La Jolla Cosmetic, we try to help people achieve well-being, and we feel that it's not only important to look good, but also feel good inside. And honestly, what a better opportunity to help my community than being a supporter of an organization such as Las Patronas.
The mission of Las Patronas is to provide financial assistance to local nonprofits that are providing valuable community services in the areas of health, education, social services, and cultural arts. La Jolla Cosmetic has been one of our biggest supporters at Las Patronas, so we couldn't do what we do without their support.
You feel the need and you see the need because we go to visit each grant applicant.
Partnering with groups that are actually dedicated to help your community, it's the best thing that you can do as a responsible business.
Shelter to Soldier is 9 years young with a mission to save lives 2 at a time. We're adopting dogs from local shelters, training them for post 9/11 combat veterans, and we're able to donate these trained dogs to deserving veterans in need.
You know, I was in a very dark place. I was having suicidal thoughts, and I really needed an immediate help. We don't know if tomorrow is going to be there for us.
Shelter to Soldier is a nonprofit, and we're able to do the work that we do because of you, the community. Whether it's an individual donating $5 or whether it's a corporate donor like the Barnes firm that's supporting us and sponsoring multiple dogs that are going to make an impact in the veterans' lives in need.
Him by my side 24/7 has completely turned my life around. It's not just saving both of our lives, it has made an impact on myself, Nigel, my family, my work. So yes, they definitely have saved our lives.
You're watching Kaplan and Crew tonight, powered by the Mightier 1090 and YourView, featuring the best sports talk in SoCal. Brought to you by Team Mazda of El Cajon, where your trade-in is always worth more.
Save the Stork is an organization that equips pregnancy resource centers across the nation so that these pregnancy resource centers can reach more women facing unplanned pregnancies and provide them with holistic care, compassionate choices, and just an abundance of resources to support their decision to choose life. Save the Stork has been around for about 10 years. Most people know us by our Stork buses. A Stork bus is a mobile medical unit that's equipped with the state-of-the-art medical equipment as well as very knowledgeable and experienced medical professionals.
The buses enable them to reach areas where maybe there's not a pregnancy care center nearby. We are here to walk this journey with you so that you're not alone and to help you find your heart in all of this. And that means and that you're going to make a choice that is truly going to be something that years from now you're going to be proud of.
Attention, all dogs, cats, horses, tortoises, birds, pigs, and all other pets. Get your family members to sit, stay, and watch Animal Zone every Saturday at 9 p.m. right here on this channel and at animalzone.org.
Tune in Saturdays at 9 p.m. to watch Animal Zone right here on YourView.
Thank you for joining us. Catch Scott Kaplan and Crew tonight from 7 to 8 p.m. Pacific every Monday through Friday. The very best from today's Scott Kaplan and Crew show on the mightier 1090 AM. A new generation of radio, SoCal Sports Talk.